Bring us in, babe.
Welcome to Coco Caliente.
We got to work on removing ourselves from the mic a little bit again.
Was I too loud?
When we do our intro. Welcome to Bleeding from the Ears again.
Oh my gosh, and let's redo it.
Let's practice while we're still on air. All right, here we go. Bring us in, babe.
Welcome to
Coco Caliente.
That was better.
That was a whole lot better.
Okay, I forgot to back up.
I think we were better in sync. Well, you've been out of the game for a while now, so we're still kind of bringing you back in slowly, to kind of get the hang of things. So we thought it was funny this morning. So Nicole, she's a little caffeine sensitive, right? And if you saw her story a couple days ago, you would have seen that I made some coffee, right? Because Nicole doesn't drink coffee every day as it is, even decaf, right? So we were podcasting, so I threw in a pot of coffee for myself, and, I poured myself in a big mug. I don't know. How many ounces is this, would you say?
That's like a 16er.
Yeah. It's like a 16-ounce mug. And so I pour this, and Nicole's like, well, I want some coffee. And she pours herself just a tiny bit in a big mug. And I was like, well, babe.
Like a tiny bit, like you could still see the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, like when you move the liquid around, you can still see the bottom of the cup. And I was like, well, I got you this. Nicole had been bugging me for a while, or not bugging me, but she had been saying, like, they have these mugs at Starbucks that have each state on them. And I would love.
Really? I thought you just bought that for me for the heck of it. I didn't realize I was bugging you about it.
Well, that's why I changed the phrasing.
Oh, okay.
But you had casually brought up several times when we were in the airport that, it'd be cool to get one of those. And I remember we were going to buy one time, but we were on our way to our destination, not coming back home. So it wasn't like ideal to buy it and maybe break during the trip. Anyway, so one day I was traveling by myself and I bought Nicole this tiny mug, right?
It's 2 ounces.
It's a little 2-ounce Michigan mug, and it's like the cutest thing ever. So I told Nicole.
Starbucks has them. I'm sure like they have every single state. I think they're like supposed to be, you're not supposed to drink out of them, I don't think. I think they're just like collectibles.
Like a decorative item, but it's really cute. It's a small little 2-ounce mug. Nicole maybe has an ounce in there with her creamer and the coffee. And that's what she's using. I don't know. For some reason, I thought that was a funny little story, but
it is real cute.
It is really cute, and you guys should definitely get one. And it's not an ad. We're not selling these things, all right? So you're not going to see it on our page. But if you happen to be at a Starbucks and you might catch your state on there, it's actually pretty cool. Anyway, sidestepping to today's episode, we have some new friends.
Yeah.
I've only talked to one of them once. I haven't really talked to the other one at all. But it's Nicole made some new friends on Big Brother. And so on the show today, we have Memphis and Christmas.
Yes, we do.
We have them together. So it's going to be the four of us. And I love these because we don't usually have four people on the show at once. But it makes for a much more entertaining and fun conversation, I'm hoping. I hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth.
We haven't recorded it yet.
We haven't recorded it yet, but we're about to get on the phone with them. So we hope you guys enjoy. Do you so wait, let's go through this one more time. Do you find my voice soothing? Or is it just soothing when it's in this radio like thing with the microphone and the filter?
Like I said off air, it's fine until that cackle comes out.
This cackle right here?
No, it gets worse than that. That's your like professional cackle.
That's not
Let's hear your villainous
I
cackle.
can't do that on
Unless
cue.
Something's funny.
That something has to be really, really funny for me to laugh like that. I mean, I like your voice all the time, on and off the air.
There's no way.
What do you say?
Here we go. There's this villainous cackle.
That was funny. Wait, so why do you say that? Why do you say there's no way?
There's no way.
What do you yourself think that your voice is annoying?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do get annoyed with my voice. Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't until I think I went on Big Brother 16 and people brought it to my attention.
Until you started hearing it and seeing it yourself?
It's super annoying on TV. That's not what I really sound like, though.
Well, okay, and I will give you the benefit of the doubt. One, your voice isn't annoying to me, so that's off the table. But two, I will say that when you are in the Big Brother house in the diary room, they always ask for more energy, more energy. I need it, more. And the natural tendency for people to do is not necessarily always give more energy per se, but get louder, right?
This season, I try not to do that, though.
It's hard, though. Anyway, this is our conversation that we're having as we're waiting for Memphis and Christmas to give us a call here. So this is the pre-call convo.
And he just decided to start it suddenly.
It's okay. All right, no, but they're coming on now.
Hey.
Feliz Navidad.
Hold on 1 second.
Feliz
cool.
Navidad.
Hey, Feliz
Navidad and Memphis too. Both of you, welcome.
Sorry, we were like a little confused.
What up?
What's up? No, it's okay. It would be nice to see you guys on FaceTime, but it messes up with our audio quality.
Got it.
Yeah, I know. You guys would like to see my pretty face, not Nicole. But,
I know, right? I mean, come on, man.
So how you guys doing today, Memphis? Happy belated birthday.
Sorry, I'm stuffing my face right now. But thank you so much.
How does 38 feel? Does it feel any different than 37?
No.
Yes.
So where are you guys right now?
Mine is having Christmas in my life. No.
That's a significant difference in the feelings.
I think once you get to a certain age, it's kind of like, it is what it is, you know? Mm-hmm. But I do like to think that my life gets substantially better year over year.
So you're aging like fine wine, one would say.
Yeah, I think so.
More like whiskey.
There you go. Well, I turned 30 next year, and I feel like that's going to start getting to that point where I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm in cruise control for a little bit. Yeah.
Your baby.
I know. But anyway, so where are you guys right now?
We are in the bed at Margaritaville in Orlando.
Oh, that sounds very relaxing. Did you guys have a good time last night? Good celebration?
Yeah. She had a lot of things planned. We went to brunch. We went and got a massage. We went to Topgolf.
Oh.
So we had a good day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's better at Topgolf? Who won?
I did.
She actually beat
Really?
my ass. Which is so embarrassing.
By the way, your birthday, still gonna whoop your ass. And he's gonna hate me for this. I've never played golf or Topgolf or swung. I've swung a club one time, literally like one day, and whooped them.
So
well,
there's that.
It's okay. I just started golfing this past summer while Nicole was gone, and I still suck.
We heard.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
we did.
what's crazy, I'm actually a decent golfer. It's just, with Topgolf, it's not as dry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's like so you could be a good hitter, but you really got to be good aiming, and not, I feel like at Topgolf, it's 9 times out of 10 it's like luck. Hopefully, I get it in a one that's a lot of points.
I don't think it's really luck though, because
here we go. She's got your back, Christmas.
Well,
I agree with you, Nicole. Already,
it's definitely skill, because when I did Topgolf, I was really good at it the first time, and then the second time I couldn't even hit the dang ball off the thing. So that's not luck, especially if you've never golfed before, because I haven't golfed before either. So if Christmas beat Memphis, who's a golfer, that's very impressive.
I'm like a technique junkie, so as soon as I figured out how my body was connecting with what I wanted it to do, that's when he was screwed.
Memphis was over there picking up the ball and throwing it.
Yeah, basically.
What was my drive, babe?
She was driving the ball 150 yards.
Oh my gosh, that's a hell of a drive.
I can picture Christmas exactly, her form and swinging the club for some weird reason. I don't know if it's because we spent that much time together. I've never seen you swing a club, but I know exactly what you would look like swinging a club.
It was actually very impressive.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy you guys. We've only gone Topgolf once. I think maybe twice. Yeah,
we went once in Florida actually. When we were down there for a family vacation, and then it was freezing in Michigan, but in April for his birthday a couple years ago, I had a party at Topgolf.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Cool. This episode is brought to you by the World Series of Poker.
Have you ever watched World Series of Poker on TV and dreamed of winning like the pros? The official World Series of Poker app lets you play real-time poker with poker fans around the world.
It's as close to the real thing as you can get without the $10,000 buy-in.
Yeah, I love playing. I've played this game many, many times, just right there on my phone. And I have a hard time not just doing going all in.
Yeah.
because I actually want to rack up my money, and it's cool because you get to play with people online. So you're like playing real time, and you honestly feel like you're in the World Series of Poker.
Be on the lookout for all the crazy and fun events coming up around the holidays, too. Best of all, you can get 1 million chips as a bonus gift when you join today.
What's a holdup? Download the World Series of Poker app in the Apple App Store or on Google Play and Amazon now. And don't forget to use my promo code World Series of Poker, so WSOPCOCO, for 1 million bonus chips when you sign up. That's 1 million bonus chips when you download the World Series of Poker app using promo code WSOPCOCO. So anyways, I want to go blast from the past here, and I guess I'll start with Christmas. I don't know if Memphis is still eating, but it'll give you some time to chow down. So Christmas, before Big Brother, right? Like before anything, right? So what were you doing? Because your first season was BB19, right?
Yeah.
So what was life for you like before that? And was Big Brother even in your wheelhouse of things that you wanted to do or could do? Like what was life for like you then?
I mean, honestly, so like I was, you guys are going to be so tired of hearing me talk about this. I was a pro athlete for a couple of years with 3 different sports. And so from there, that's where like people know me from. And so I would travel almost every weekend, either teaching seminars for my nutrition program, like guest coaching classes, or doing special events and doing meet and greets, Yeah. And so I literally was traveling like a maniac. I have an online fitness app. So people are like, you come in and you work out with me. And then I also owned and was a head coach of my CrossFit gym. So I sold that last year. So I had that for 10 years before I sold it. Almost 10 years. Yeah. And so it was all things fitness. I videoed my stuff. Like it's not much different than what it is now. Except for now it's just like I've gone through Big Brother twice. And when I broke my foot, I thought for sure, I was like, well, there's my career.
Yeah.
Like my career's done, which it isn't, but as I heavily identified as an athlete and not necessarily just as like a coach or a teacher. But I love teaching so much. So that really helped me shift. Like Big Brother 19 helped me shift into a different career path, like different stage in my career of doing more focused online coaching and education and just like being home a lot more. And then of course I had Loyal. And then it was perfect. It was like, I'm telling you, God has the plan.
Yeah.
Not my plan, God's plan. Because I would have done things very differently, but I wouldn't change a thing to where I am now.
Yeah.
So going on Big Brother wasn't like it was, and I know the fans are going to be upset about this. It wasn't like a big thing that I really wanted to do for a long, long time. I saw going on Big Brother as another opportunity for competition.
Okay.
And that's why I originally said yes to it, and I went on it. And that's why I came back again this season, because I was like, well, I get to go compete the way that I knew that I wanted to the first time. And Big Brother, I love Big Brother. It's so fascinating. I had the best time playing this year, but it was more of, okay, now that I've conquered, like I've been at the top of the line for these 3 sports, let me go see what else I can do.
And it's not easy to make a career out of being an athlete. Even top level athletes in I guess in less like not like NBA, for example, or MLB, where you actually get a salary, right? But in competitive sports like CrossFit and stuff like that, it's hard to make that your full-time job. Like, so you had to be really good and really dedicated to get that. So what were the 3 sports that you were doing?
So I was a CrossFitter. So I went to the CrossFit Games for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I went to regionals for, I think it was 5 years. And then I also was an Olympic weightlifter. So not the person that stands on the stage and flexes. I did the overhead lifts that you see at the Olympics. I was not in the Olympics, but I was in the top 10 of the nation for my weight class for a few years in a row. And then also, I was the first female. I was on a pit crew in NASCAR. I was a tire changer at the sprint cup level.
Cool?
Jesus.
For NASCAR. So, that was all before I was, 30 and then 32 or whatever, 35. So I love competition, and I get obsessed and a little fixated.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, people can do a professional sport their whole life and not have the success that you had even before Big Brother. You know what I mean? To be able to establish yourself that way.
Mm-hmm. And most athletes have about a shelf life of 3 years. So when I first started competing, like I wasn't supposed to compete. I didn't play any sports until my mid-20s.
That was going to be my other question. Like if you were an athletic person younger, like in high school and did all these sports.
No, I smoked and did a lot of drugs. So like I like literally had like
in the background.
It was wild. And so like for me, I was forced into my first competition for CrossFit, and then I found that I really have a competitive spirit. And to find that in my mid-20s is pretty incredible. And then be able to have a very thriving career. Mm-hmm. You know, it's unfortunate that most athletes don't, like, we still had to pay entry fees into CrossFit competitions and USA weightlifting competitions. You paid for everything. And then as an athlete, how you actually make your money in these off sports, you know, like not mainstream, is through sponsorships.
Yep.
And, you know, I was really fortunate that it was a lot of hard work.
Absolutely.
But, I was obsessed. Like my life was dedicated to competing and to this level of competition, which is why I won't do those sports now as a competitor, because I can't find the balance between family and competing in those sports. Now, something else I would definitely consider, but it's very difficult to make a living off of being an athlete. You usually can't. Yeah. And so during that time, I was building my business to be able to continue to have something when my run was over. And I was just really fortunate that my run lasted as long as it did.
Yeah, and that's what people, like you said, they don't understand that. Like, for example, like in the Olympics, the people that do track and field events, right? Maybe like discus or shot put or something like that, which are high-level athletes, but unless they have sponsorships, they're working maybe 2-3 jobs to be able to train at the same time. You know?
I mean, I have a couple Olympian friends that, you know, they literally are like just above the poverty level just from like, you know, the time that consumes with training and then being like having to have a job on the side of that, or having to have a significant other that can help support you. It's really, really challenging. So like, I just wish that there was more stability in being an athlete.
And the thing is, what's crazy is that exists in other countries, you know, like other countries make it like that's national pride. We're going to pay you a good salary and you're going to train and, you know, that's your job, right? Because you're going to represent our country. Here it's sponsorships
yeah, America does that. The U.S. does that, but very limited.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, I mean, I have a couple friends that have done that too, but it's not. People think that they find a sport and they love it and they're like, oh, I have the numbers to do all the way. And I'm like, one number isn't consistent across the board from your performance.
Exactly.
And that pressure of competing on the floor, that changes everything. You can be a gym champion and then go to the floor and shit your pants.
Very eloquently said. Thank you, Kristen.
Thanks. You know, I'm here for you.
Well, that's awesome. Well, and I didn't know that about you. That's more than an interesting story. That a lot of respect for that. So yeah, I think that's really cool. And we'll get more into after Big Brother, but now I'm going to switch my focus to Memphis. Memphis, are you ready?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm ready.
This episode is brought to you by Bruche.
Think about how many times you've brushed your teeth in your lifetime. You probably do it without thinking at this point, but have you ever managed to replicate that fresh from the dentist feeling? For a dentist quality clean at home, don't brush, Bruche.
Yeah, Bruche cleans your teeth at 31,000 movements a minute. A manual toothbrush tops out at just 300, and many electric toothbrushes are barely a step up from manual. Some do a good job, but cost like $200 and up.
And advanced features that are right out of the box. There's 6 different cleaning modes. There's daily, there's white, there's gentle, gum, max, and tongue. As a smart timer with a quad pacer and 4-week battery life.
Get 15% off your Bruche when you use promo code COCO at Bruche.com. Try it 90 days risk-free and get a 2-year warranty. That's Bruche, BRUUSH.com. Promo code COCO. So Memphis, first and foremost, Nicole, I didn't even know this until Nicole got off the show or right after she got off the show. I didn't know you were a restaurateur. I didn't know you had all these businesses and stuff and that you were like a wildly successful. I mean, not that I didn't think you were successful, but I didn't think, I didn't know how or where or what you did. And when Nicole told me that, I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, Memphis.
Yeah, for sure.
So where did this start from? Like we're backing up before Big Brother, or I guess before your first season of Big Brother was when?
It was in basically 08, 09, I think was the years, or 09 or 08, I can't remember. Something like that.
So what were you doing before then? What was life for you like before that?
Well, I had just, basically, I finished Florida State in 07 for hospitality.
Okay.
And basically, I moved to LA in the end of 07 and started working for a small hospitality company at the time called SBE, and then got just a job as like a busser at the time, and kind of I was a busser, worked my way up to like mixologist, and that was kind of like my profession when I went into the Big Brother house the first time, which is so funny.
When I think of mixologist, were you like flipping cups over your head and long pours and like?
No, that's like more like flair bartending. Like this is more basics of like. Think about more like culinary side, beverage culinary. So basically creating cocktails, creating syrups, stuff like that. Like that's really
you were very ahead of your time, I feel like.
I was. And some of the producers from Big Brother All-Stars brought it up with me. They were like, I know, like, mixology is such a thing now. And like when you were on 11 years ago, everyone made fun of you for saying that term. And I was like, okay, so now I'm cool. I guess. It only took 11 years. But it was one of those things where that's where I got my start. And then I went on the show. And then when I got back out, I really made the transition into management. And I started managing venues. And then I started opening venues for the company that I work for. And then I became the director of operations for all openings. And then I moved to Vegas with them, and I opened a casino. I was the director of nightlife for a casino where I oversaw 5 venues.
Oh, wow.
And then I moved to Miami and started doing hotels with them. And then I went out on my own and started opening my own places. So now I have a couple of restaurants that I own, and then I have a staffing company, and then I have a consulting company where I get hired to open venues. And really I found my niche in staffing places and just basically opening venues for other people. That's really what my niche is, and that's what I do. And I've opened over 37 places in my career, and I will continue to do that. So yeah, it's been a great whirlwind. I love what I do. It gives me the ability to have free time with my son and just a very flexible schedule, and ultimately continues to push along my creative side, which really drives me.
Wow, that's what a pathway. That company, that originally company, really set you up to learn all the things that you needed to know to really go on your own and be confident, right, in what you're doing.
Yeah, it took time, and it took patience with me to like leave that company at the right moment and a right point in my career to be able to step out and do my own places. And it was still a learning curve a little bit, even after I'd opened so many places, to do everything on my own. But yeah, it definitely, that company's growth and me getting in the time that I did set me up to be able to really the trajectory of my career. Because a lot of people ask me this a lot, or when I speak at the colleges and hospitality schools, it's like, some people are stuck in the same kind of company that doesn't have a lot of growth, and they're a GM for 10 years or whatever it might be. And I think partnering and getting in with a company that has a lot of exponential growth is very important if you want to, take on a lot and continue to move. Like for me now, I work on so much stuff. I'm very ADD in regards to my work, but as far as like, I just constantly have to be working on something.
Yeah.
Something new. So, but yeah, that's kind of like where it started and kind of where I'm at now. So I'm very, the opportunity to go back on the show and for people to see me, 11 years later, I thought was really, really cool because you could, people could dive into, oh, this is what he looked like, but like, this is where he was at that moment, and this is how far he's come since then. And I think that's something that even for me as an entrepreneur and for a lot of entrepreneurs out there, it's like it's tough to measure, and because you get complacent and you get into an element of like, oh, well, I have my own restaurants. You don't think about the struggle that you went through and the drive and the desires you had back then before you had it. Sometimes it was good for me to come out and be like, okay, it made me really reflect on what I had and what I had accomplished over that time. And that's tough to do, I think, in entrepreneurship. And it's tough to kind of remember back where all you wanted to do was own one restaurant, you know what I mean? And you were willing to do anything to do that. So I try to look at everything like that, like a very learning curve, and reflect and enjoy, you know.
And speaking of Big Brother then and now, I can't imagine. So did you always want to be on Big Brother? Like, or did that opportunity just kind of fall on your lap and you were like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. You know, like, what the heck? Or,
I knew that when I was in college, I knew I got like to the finals for Real World. I think Australia it was at the time. And I was pretty close to going on that show. And it kind of opened my eyes to like, oh man, I think I kind of want to go down that route if it is a possibility. But I was kind of fixated on either, you know, one of the top 5 shows, right? So you had Real World, Road Rules, Big Brother, Amazing Race, and Survivor.
And those are
at the moment back then, and whatever.
And that was like the boom of reality TV too. That's when it was at its peak, you know.
You had those key shows, so I was very adamant that if I did do a show, it would be one of those top shows. So when Big Brother kind of fell into my lap, I was like, let's do it. You know, it didn't take much convincing, but it wasn't that I was actively seeking that, you know, so when it came, it was exciting and definitely. It's so different though now compared to what it was 11 years ago.
Well, and then like social media, for example, I think the most they had at that time was like Facebook, and it was one of those times where you would post like a whole album of you going out with your friends. You didn't just pick the one perfect photo, you know. And then they had like
social media for sure has changed everything when it comes to Big Brother for sure, and just the game in general. I like to highlight the fact that like, you know, during the Kaser era and that you know, Mike Boogie and those people, the game was completely different than it is now.
Yeah,
you know, there's larger alliances, people running packs, and that's how you got to kind of survive to get through. So it took me a moment to really dissect that and go into the house with a different mindset when it came to playing the game in general. But social media for sure. I mean, that's such a big impact that's totally different compared to what it was 11 years ago.
Yeah, if you guys ever have a chance, I was telling Nicole about this documentary that just came out on Netflix this year, actually, while Big Brother was airing. It's called The Social Dilemma.
Me and David watched that in the jury house.
Oh, it's crazy, right?
It's insane.
What?
It's insane. It blew my mind.
I know, exactly. I was like, what an eye-opener. I mean, you always think about what's going on behind the scenes and what the motive and intentions are with these platforms because they're quote-unquote free, right? But watching that, you're just like, oh my God, I want to delete all social media.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, it definitely like it's so impactful, and it's changing the way that we operate as humans, which is frightening.
Yeah, it's very frightening. It's very frightening. So anyway, changing gears. Obviously, you and Christmas are together in the same place, and it's no secret that you guys are now in a relationship.
It's no secret.
I'm so happy.
And I just, you know, I have to ask: Did you guys have any type of feelings like this in the house together, or was it kind of like, maybe you feel that way, maybe I don't know if they feel that way. I don't really know if I want to talk about it, you know.
I'll touch on this first, and then Christmas, I'm sure, has something to say about it. But for me, it was definitely like kind of like this cosmic kind of feeling, or this just underlining feeling that I had that there was something very strong and something powerful there that was going to be very difficult to ignore.
Yeah.
And I think when you get that feeling, you don't necessarily know what it is, but you just know it's something. And I think that's the feeling that we had, or I had, when I was in that house. And for me, it was like, it almost like I had to like run away because I was attracted to her, and I don't mean like physically attracted to her. I was, but like I'm talking about like
energy.
I was like, she was a magnet, right? She was like an energy that like I wanted to be around all the time. So I had to, like, not only from a game perspective, but like for my own sake of like being respectful of the situation I was in outside the house, I had to basically like kind of run away from her. So there were moments like in the house, I'd walk into a room and she would be there, and I'm like, I want to just sit there and hang, but like I cannot. I need to like go the opposite way.
That's so cute.
Is that how you felt Christmas?
I mean, honestly, I can echo the same thing. Like, he has a little bit funnier of a pre-house entry story than I do. But, like, you know, I just met him, and there was just, like, I was like, I'm not going to say, you know, it's unlike anything that I've ever experienced before, where it wasn't just because he was hot or, like, I felt flutters for him. I was like, man, I just want, like, I'm drawn to him. I just want to be in the same room as him. Like, I felt like I needed to be, like, there was a magnet. Like, I felt like I just wanted to be closer to him and conversate and like sit and talk. And that was that was different for me. And so same thing for him. I was like, okay, I'm coming into this house in a relationship. And like, I want to go ahead and remind everybody right now, I was dating the guy that I was dating for a few months before I went into the house, like literally the same year, just a few months. And so was Memphis. But just because we weren't dating very long doesn't mean that they deserved me to throw that out. So we didn't get to have conversations about how we felt in the house. We didn't get to have that. Like, we just felt it and we knew it. And then, you know, what he said a couple times, he's like, I just feel like I'm at summer camp. And so we kind of needed to be able to get out of the house, return to our previous partners, and like, then we realized it was like, it wasn't anything other than like, we just needed to be together.
Yeah.
I mean, he is absurd and I love him for it. Like, it's like, I know what he's thinking. I know what he's feeling. We just have this, I don't think that connection is the correct word, because it's just, it's real. It's there. And it was just finally, we were at the same place at the same time. Yeah. And that's what it took. And so we did avoid each other a lot. And that's probably why you guys didn't see us like hanging out until the last week that we were on the block together. We hung out all the time because we knew that like one of us was going home. But leading up to that point, we tried not to hang out a lot because it was very obvious that we just wanted to. Yeah. And so for game wise and respect of our relationship, and, you know, like, who knows what was going to happen in the future? We wanted to make sure that we were as respectful as possible on all levels.
Yeah, and I was having a conversation with Nicole here at home, and we were talking about how being in that Big Brother house for 3 months with people, especially somebody that you may be drawn to, is almost the equivalent, because you're together every day, is almost the equivalent to being together with that person for like a year. That's right? You learn so much. You're day in, day out, all their habits, you know, waking up, going to bed, you see them at their best, at their worst, right? So there's that level of connectedness because you are just with that person all the time that you don't normally get, because when you're out in the real world and you're dating somebody, they get ready to go out on this date, and then you meet them out at the date, and you're maybe at that date for a couple hours, and then you both go your separate ways home, and then that's how dating works. So in the span of actually getting to know somebody for 3 months, you really only hang out with them a handful of times, right? Yeah. So when you're in the Big Brother house, it's 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, I actually did the breakdown. It's so funny because I love telling this. Somebody got an attitude with me about it. They're like, really? It's only been 3 months. And I'm like, let me tell you about that 3 months. I did the math, okay? But for a full-time job, the time that we spent together correlating to a full-time job is almost a full year of 40 hours of work week with that person.
Wow.
Now, if you want to talk about casual dating and then going into serious dating, that actually, for then 20 hours a week, you're looking at 2 years. Yeah. And like when you're casually dating, you're only hanging out for a few times here and there. So like literally being with somebody 24/7 in that house that you have feelings for, and you're like getting to know each other, that's like multiple years of dating, casually to serious.
Exactly.
And plus what you were saying, Vic, is that like we don't have all these other things to hide who we don't like about ourselves, or like the bad things, or like, hey, I want to put on my best self. for the first 6 months and then slowly integrate these smaller habits that may piss you off.
Yeah.
No, it's like you're getting a fire hydrant to the face of who this person is. And that's like, it's so funny because we're out in the real world now and I know him so well, but then it's like, oh, you do that? It's like, I don't know, an example of what I was surprised about. But
I mean, I think it's interesting because, I think the biggest thing being out and being together is we're seeing ourselves or each other interact with other people and being out in public. And that's something that we never saw before.
Yeah.
And especially like we're at a charity event, we're finishing up and like, obviously when these events happen, like you got to be on, right? I mean, you're on 24/7 with these people. And it was interesting to watch us both be on in the same moment, and all that. But I think for us, like, when you start a relationship from the inside out is what I like to kind of compare it to. It's because we didn't, there wasn't an Instagram filter. There wasn't, we weren't putting on a show. No one was, not talking about certain things or talking about certain things. It's like we basically fell, or I fell for her, just getting to know her and her quirkiness and her laugh and her smile and just the true, like her real self. In those moments that were so raw is what I fell for. And it kind of built from there. And I think that's something that I think is almost impossible in the world that we live in today.
Absolutely.
That's based on such a filterish, kind of world and social media and the way that we want people to see us and perceive us. So I think, when you connect with someone on that level, it's built from a different layer. And I think we're seeing that now.
Yeah, well, that's why they say Big Brother has created more marriages than The Bachelor, right? Bachelorette, because they only, I mean, I know Nicole makes me watch the show here and there, and just to make that clear.
So you're just hearing about Big Brother?
She makes me watch. So The Bachelor and Bachelorette, she makes me watch that. Yeah, and they, from the conversations that we've had with the contestants on that show, they only get, whatever dates you see.
They'll get engaged after, and they've only spent like 4 hours together.
All in all, total time together, and it's like, what?
And they see them at their best, right? In the best gowns and in a helicopter, going to these picnics in a different country.
Yeah.
Big Brother's just so it's just makes you see each other for what they are.
Well, I will say, like, Big Brother has like a little bit of an advantage where you're going in to play a game and you're not looking for this. You're not positioning yourself to find love.
No,
you're positioning yourself to win money.
Yeah.
And so you really are like more your authentic self than on a dating reality show. Yeah. And that's what I think too is like what I mean, like you and Vic have been experiencing this. You guys knew each other. Like just because like you guys met, connected a couple of years later, but like you knew each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you did start dating, it was just like, okay, like you're familiar, you're home. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
He knew what he was getting into. That's for sure.
Yeah.
do you guys ever? We got this a few times this weekend. Is that a lot of people were like, "Man, you guys look so much better in person."
Yes.
Those fluorescent lights don't help the looks.
Damn, I guess. Thank you. I think
I get skinnier in person, and I'm like, "Jeez, oh, Pete, what did I look like on TV?" Or they'll say, "Your voice isn't as annoying in real life." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yes. Hey, by the way, we vouched for that statement, and we vouched for it this weekend too, because I got asked that question a couple times, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I go, I love her voice, and I think they move it up a couple decibels on the TV.
Well, that's what Nicole and I were talking about before in our little intro here, is that when you're in the diary room, they want more energy, and the natural thing to do is just up your voice, go up another octave, and so then it makes you seem like you're yelling into the diary room.
I don't know. It's something that people complain about all the time. So now I'm going to change. I'm going to talk slower. But
don't change yourself.
But I can't believe people are asking you guys about my voice. That's hilarious.
100%.
So what's next for you guys? Because you both happen to find yourself kind of perfectly in Florida now, in two different parts of Florida, but you're both in Florida.
Open.
Yeah, I mean, look, we both have our careers and our jobs, and we both have our sons, and we're a few hours away from each other at this point, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And it's not, for us, there's a lot of moving parts, and when you talk about kids and co-parents and stuff like that, so there's a lot of stuff that we have to sort out and work out. But look, we're taking one day at a time, and we're just we're very appreciative of the time that we do get to spend together. And ultimately, I can't not be with her. So we have to just sort that out. But we know that we have to be patient with the boys and the co-parents and everything. And, we're happy. And I think we're looking forward to next year and everything coming on. So,
We're happy. We're happy for you guys. Absolutely. Well, hopefully when this COVID stuff, starts hopefully sorting itself out, maybe the vaccine, as life, hopefully gets back to normal here sooner rather than later. Maybe we can get together with you guys.
They were supposed to come. They were supposed to come to Turks and Caicos, but all that got screwed up. We really want to hang out, and we do come to Florida every single year. But hopefully, COVID allows us to come this year in March.
Yeah. So we'll plan for that, but Nicole will both stay in contact with you guys. Thank you so much for being on the show with us, and we wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thanks, guys. We love you guys. Let us know if you come for March. We'll definitely come join you, and we'll have some fun.
The boys will love it too, because it's Orange Lake, so there's so much to do. Victor's nieces and nephew come up sometimes, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, we love getting the kiddos together and letting them be maniacs.
Well, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.
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 Man, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yes.
Was it nice reconnecting with your friends?
Yeah. I didn't talk that much because Victor's so good at letting the conversation flow, and I know that for me, I just would sit there. I like to listen to the conversation with you and them, and if I were to lead the convo, who knows where it would have gone.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's a hell of a compliment that you just gave me.
I'm just really happy that they're happy and they're together, because I will say that I told Christmas in the house.
Called it.
I was like, you guys are in love. And then she's like, no. And then I feel like I knew it before she knew it. Because being in that house, you overanalyze everything. I have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. I am very romantically happy. I am in no way looking for anything. So for me, I'm just sitting there. This is the first time I played without a showmance, right? Uh-huh. So I'm sitting there and I'm just observing everyone. I was like, this is so much more fun playing without a showmance. Have all this time on my hands. I'm really freaking gonna get to play this game this season. And I just saw them interacting, and it was so cute. They would have their coffee together, and I feel like they didn't even know. But, I knew. And then I try to convince other people, as strategy in the house. I was like, okay, you're telling me that Cody's Memphis is going to vote out Christmas. And I said, there's no way. They're in love. They're in love.
That's not going to happen.
He will vote you out first. And he goes, no, it's not like that. And I'm thinking, my gosh, you idiot.
It's clear as day.
I can't help. I'm so emotionally intelligent over here. And I can tell that he's not going to vote her out. He will kick you to the curb first. And now seeing that they're together and they're happy and they were hiding it and running away. I hope that, I should have let that happen.
I was about to say, you shouldn't have said anything.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
Damn it. But anyways.
That's hilarious. All right. So weird or normal?
Okay.
Is it weird to break at least one glass or porcelain or whatever object that shatters a month? At least once.
Normal.
Just because you do it doesn't mean it's normal.
It's normal.
Nicole wasn't home not even 24 hours or 48 hours. I can't even remember. And I think I was either in the
You were taking
office.
a big poop diddy doop.
Okay. No, I wasn't. I was either in the office or I was in the bedroom, and I hear a shatter. And I go, are you kidding me? And I come out, and sure enough, Nicole, I think, what did you drop, a glass or something?
I broke a whole Pyrex pan, and then I also broke a mug like 2 days after that. But I haven't broken anything since.
Well, you made up for 2 months worth in those 2 days. So now it's only a matter of time.
I'm not really quite sure. It's the tile, though. Our floor, if anything drops, it will shatter.
How many things have I broken in this house?
I don't know.
Not a lot. You know, the thing with Nicole is she'll have a big glass.
He cannot wait to bring this up. I told him we've already talked about it. We don't need to talk about it again.
But I do got to bring it up again. She'll have the biggest glass with some water, and she'll put it on the most unstable surface. And I don't know why, and she thinks she can get away with it. Or just now, she poured herself something, and she put the cup on top of a cap.
On accident.
Or she'll pick up a jar from the lid, not knowing if the lid is secure.
Yes, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's fine, though. I survive. It's fine.
Hopefully this conversation just makes you a little bit more aware.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to put it on documentation that he talked to me about it so things get better. Like, whatever.
Oh, baby.
Okay, what kind of Spanish word of the day do you have for me today?
Oh, you want a Spanish word of the day?
Yes, I do.
Okay, here we go. Spanish word of the day. I'll think something holiday-wise.
Okay.
It has to do with Christmas. All right?
Okay.
So you already know what Navidad is, right?
Yes.
So that is...
Christmas.
Okay. Nieve.
Oh, I know this.
Nieve.
Christmas Eve. The night before Christmas.
No. Nieve.
Party.
That's fiesta.
Oh, yeah.
Nieve.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Este año va a caer mucha nieve.
No, an English sentence.
An English sentence with one Spanish word?
Yes.
Okay.
Hot chocolate?
No. You know what chocolate is. It's spelled the same.
Our name is Hot Chocolate. Coco Caliente. I just saw the hot chocolate bar sign, so I'm desperate here.
And you know chocolate is spelled the same in English and Spanish? Chocolate.
Chocolate. But it has an accent, I thought.
Well, but it's still spelled the same.
Okay.
Chocolate, yeah. Nieve, snow.
Why'd you tell me?
You guessed like 7 different things. So nieve is snow.
That doesn't sound like snow.
I know. Because it doesn't start with an S.
It sounded like night.
Nieve, yeah. Noche is night.
Okay, I will say, though, I do know the days of the week.
Okay, go ahead.
Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo, días de la semana. That means Monday, Tuesday, right?
She got everything right except the last part that she said.
That's what my Spanish teacher taught me. Días de la semana. Something like that.
I think what you're trying to say is días de la semana.
Días de la semana. Oh, días de la semana.
There's no, you're too many L's in that sentence.
Días de la.
There's no L's in there. Días
de
la semana.
La is an L.
I know, one L, but
it's not no L's.
It's not días de la semana. You know, días de la semana.
I will say, though, that my Spanish teacher, I will always remember the days of the week because of that song.
You know, there's a bunch of things like that. So when I was learning my multiplication tables, this is going to sound so weird, right?
Okay.
They taught us in that way, like a snowman, 8, right? Mm-hmm. Plays around a tree, 3, right? So snowman, 8, plays around a tree, 3.
What?
For 24 hours.
Are you serious?
8 times 3 is 24.
So you remember that stuff?
Yeah, snowman playing around a tree, 24 hours. Like stuff like that.
Oh, wow. See, I just memorized 8 times 3 is 24.
Or like 7, and it was like a 7 with a football helmet on, and then a 7 with another football helmet on, and they're football players, and they're the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, wow. So did they come up with something for all of them?
I mean, for a lot of them, honestly. Or snowman, what is it?
You'll always remember that.
It's hard to come up with them now, but when I think of those multiplications that I got to do quick, they just pop in my head.
Oh my gosh, no, but so they pop in my head because I have them memorized, but they pop in your head with a long ass story. So
it's cool,
feel
though.
like it's not that fast. You have to be like, okay, how many times did the...
No, it's not like that, though.
Oh.
Like, I know them, and then I remember that, oh, yeah, that's kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a snowman is thirsty, too, and I can't even remember what the thing was for 32, but...
That's interesting.
Yeah. She did a good job, obviously, because that was grade school, right? And all these years later, I remember that.
No, it's good to learn things like that. That's how I was in nursing school. Things are spelled very strange, and they're not how you have no one pronouncing them for you. They give you this huge book. They want you to know all the anatomy of the body. So, for example, lacrimal, I think it's called lacrimal gland is right here, like where I'm pointing in the inside of my eye. Okay. For me, I remembered it. I called it lacriminal, and a criminal's sad because they're crying. So, like, weird things like that, and my friends would all make fun of me because I never learned the correct way to say them because no one said them. We just read them. Yeah. And so that's how I remembered all the bones and freaking everything in the body.
Well, there's one that there's still... So the equation, then this is kind of crazy. The equation for photosynthesis, right? That teacher was so good. She was our best scientist. This was in high school, right? And I don't know how I still remember it. I don't know how she did it, but the equation for photosynthesis, 6CO2 plus 6H2O equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2.
What the heck?
I think that's the equation. I could be off.
How do you know that?
She just ingrained it in our head.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look it up and correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, photosynthesis, 6H2O, whatever I just said. Yeah, and like if I think about it too much, I can't. It doesn't. But when it just pops in my mind like that, 6CO2 plus 6H2O equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2.
What?
Something like that.
Well, that's really good if teachers can make you remember
I know. Because some teachers are just like monotone, boring, and just write this down, copy this, and learn that, and that's the test.
Yeah, I have no idea about geography or social studies because this is all they did. He was like the football coach, so he was just like, write down 50 facts from the textbook. And so you know what everyone would do? You could write down your dog's names 50 times. Like, they literally don't check it. So people would just write a paragraph and it wouldn't even be full sentences.
Oh, look at that. I just found it. I just found the equation for photosynthesis. Read it out loud.
6CO2 plus 6H2O equals, what is this? C6H12O6 plus 6O2.
Isn't that what I just said?
Probably.
6CO2 plus 6H2O equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2.
Yeah, that's really
Isn't that
impressive.
crazy?
Yeah. Shout out to that teacher.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully I get that question one day. It's like $1 million question, and, it's just...
Well, we've been watching You Are the Weakest Link, Weakest Link. And so one was like, Lunes, martes, miércoles. What is Wednesday? And what is Wednesday in Spanish? And I would have been like, Lunes, martes, miércoles.
Well, anyways,
and you would have known the photosynthesis.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Coco Caliente Podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. The easiest way is on
Apple Podcasts.
Absolutely. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Like Spotify, Stitcher, or Google Play.
Absolutely. And if not, you can go to
www.cococalientepodcast.com.
And you can listen there and check out our merchandise. Don't forget to follow us at
Coco Caliente Pod on Twitter and Coco Caliente Podcast on Instagram. And also, we are doing a small business episode coming up.
Yes,
and we are looking for listeners who are small business owners. We are going to pick one of you, and we are going to interview you for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, don't get nervous. Right?
Nothing crazy.
It's nothing crazy.
And then
we just want to showcase
talk about your business, showcase you, what's it been like, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we sent out an email about it, and you just email us at
our podcast. Yeah, you can go on the website or Coco Caliente Podcast at gmail.com, or you can use the one on our website.
Coolio.
Thank you guys.
Bye.